Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33, teachings for your past, present and future. Good morning everyone. It is the 13th of May here in Auckland, New Zealand. It is another week. We've got a lot to discuss. Now do remember I am a one-man show when it comes to funding and putting things towards the app. So all your support helps me support you. So if you're listening on YouTube, if you're listening on the Beacon app, if you're listening on Spotify, please don't forget to do all the things that can help me support you, which is to like, tag, share, let people know that this platform exists and that I do a soul progression lesson for you every week. I would like to just start by saying that I'm so grateful to have all of you here listening. And I know that a lot of you send emails to Kieran about dreams you're having and, thanking us and all of that. It does come back to me in some way. So I just want to say thank you so much. And I absolutely love it when you guys reply to my Instagram stories and tell me what's going on for you. I do read when I can. We just get lots of things on different platforms, so I do my best to keep up with everything. So thank you so much for being here. And you know the way I work, especially those of you who have known me for a long time. Yes, I'm a medium. Yes, I'm a psychic, but I'm a healer first. And I always let my clients know when they see me, you're not coming for a reading. You expect me to talk, so I do talk. But actually, because I'm a healing symbol, there are symbols on my body, and that is enough to heal you. It's the frequency that comes through me. And this is why spirit and also the extraterrestrials, which I still find so funny saying that, they give me frequency upgrades, which is why I got such a massive download that I had to create the frequency channel for you. And I've started that on the app. So it's in the meditation section and a category under the meditation section called frequency channel. And you will see some frequencies put up there. So I pay and license every individual track that is on the meditations. I pay the musician for that. And I have embedded through my abilities, the frequencies that come through me. This is why those of you who have been responding to me or my Instagram or on the group chat saying that you can feel it, it's because I sit there for the entire period of time giving you a frequency that is for that particular topic, because I can feel it in my body. So those of you who are sensitive, you will feel it in your body when you do those frequencies. And that's what I do for personalized meditations too, but I do it specifically for you as I sit there and give you your frequency for that particular personalized meditation that Spirit wanted me to create for you. Okay, we're going to get straight into it. It is a recap of last week's Monday Mantra first, which is always really important because we look back to be able to go forward. Your Monday Mantra last week was, I am who I say I am. I am who I say I am. And this was really about walking your talk. I am a healer. Doesn't mean that I don't need to be healed. I equally need as much healing. It's just that my healing is a little bit more complicated because I'm a few steps ahead of some people in this world in terms of my spiritual growth. And I could see how my mind was a mirror image of what was going on in my body. Now, I don't remember what I say in my Monday mantras to you because a lot of it is guided. And I spoke about having an anecdote, which also meant an antidote of what is going on in your body can be found in the mind. So the mirror image that I was talking about is not just what you're seeing physically, it's a reflection of your mind and your thoughts and your repeating patterns physically manifesting. So I might still sound a bit nasally, and I'm sorry if I do, but I've had horrible hay fever over the last few days, and it's cold here in Auckland. Not as cold as my European listeners or my clients that live in very, very cold climates, but for me, it's cold. And so there's no need to have hay fever and allergies. But again, my personality is quite, gets frustrated. Things need to move quicker. And get to the bottom of things, because that's how I operate in my life. And then that's manifested in major allergies, violent sneezing over and over again. So I spent a lot of the weekend just lying around trying to calm my nervous system down. So for me, the mirror image was what was happening in my brain was being reflected in the ailments in the body and all of that, and working on that. So on Saturday, the Aurora Australis was going on. Now, unfortunately, where I was, we didn't see anything. Although the nights leading up to this, the color of the sky was just absolutely beautiful. But some of my friends on social media where they were living in New Zealand, have picked up the most beautiful images. But when that was happening, I was experiencing one of the most intense healing periods that I've had for myself in a long time. I spent hours healing myself, which was Saturday night here in New Zealand, meaning I was treating myself like a client, going into different realms, picking things out, working on my body, trying to calm everything down. And this is something that I'm going to talk about a little bit more in this week's Monday Mantra, because Spirit gave me 2 cards before I started recording this in the tarot deck. It makes me laugh because I'm not a tarot reader. And so when they show me these cards, they're literally talking to me like, this is what you need to talk to your clients about, and for me to remember too. How were mirror images showing up in your life last week? How was it a clearing of the old? Because I've got it in front of me, what I wrote for last week's Monday Mantra. Even though it was a new moon, it was like a full moon, releasing. And the choices that we make, we have to be responsible for the consequences of our choices. And this for me was around thought patterns. I ended up going on a road trip to see my best friend, and another one of my amazing childhood friends dropped in also. It was a great day for me. But I was talking to my best friend about, feeling unsafe. And I said, and we were talking about all the things that were going on in the world. And I said, collectively, there's this feeling of I'm unsafe. I have to protect myself. Now, Spirit's telling me now that if you're listening to this, there's a frequency going through me into you to release those feelings of unsafety. You don't have to feel unsafe anymore. You don't have to feel unsafe anymore. The new moon was a nice time to relive moments. So reliving moments that you wanted to recreate. Now, I know some people, again, were having patterns breaking around the new moon, which was what it was meant to do. But it was also grounding into the stability of what you're trying to create, what you're trying to relive. And it might not be reliving from memories of this current lifetime. It might be memories of previous lifetimes, that you've had some sort of stability that you want to recreate now that you're unconsciously trying to do. Because we want to feel safe, we want to feel stable, and we want to trust in that and not be living in survival mode, which I'm going to talk about in this week's Monday Mantra also. The energy of who is around you to support is coming up again in terms of what you are trying to grow. I visited friends. I had in my personal life also support from my other healer friends that have been helping me for various physical things that have been going on with my allergies and all of that. And I think that this is a real representation of the teamwork and collaboration that we are seeing to help us find our personal power. And people are showing us who they really are in good ways and also not in good ways. Not in good ways in the sense where there may be some disappointment or rejection or where you feel like you thought you knew that person. It ends up being a good thing to have that information now, but we're seeing the opposite of that too, which is all the people that are really showing up for you because your inner circle is tightening. And as you set stronger boundaries, it's helping us really align with what we want and who we are becoming. And it won't be hard to do with boundaries. Like, I'm very, very good with my boundaries. I don't let many people into my inner circle because I have enough, and always the right people come in, and I will know and feel if that's the right person. And that's what I encourage you to do. Feel if this is the right person to let into your inner circle. Success energy is there, and it's coming in this week also. And I'm talking about success, whatever you deem as success, whether it's financial success, whether it's relationship success, whether it's whatever it is, that energy, that abundance energy is there, and it's coming in. And it's funny how I said this. I didn't realize that I said this. I put here, abundance comes in when we give a little, keep a little, and save some for another time. Because this week's energy is a play on that. And I didn't realize that because I don't go reread these until I'm talking to you. I only listen or reread them when I'm needing to remind myself, for me, treating myself as a client, as to what the Monday mantra energy is. Things are clearing, and it is for more success. So even if you are having challenges at the moment, or you feel like you're having to speak up or in conflict, know that sometimes you have to take a risk, and sometimes you do have to gamble. But the caution advice was for last week that if it was significant financial investments, to just be a bit mindful and trust yourself. You might have found last week that words were just coming out of your mouth to test what another person was going to say, or again, to find your personal power. As we moved through the week, I talked about masks coming off. People's masks are coming off, including our own, as we're upgrading. It's like we're really seeing ourselves, all sides of us, the good sides and the sides of us that are painful to deal with. So whose masks did you see coming off, and what did you see in your own mask as a layer peeled off? The card that came up for me last week was the Six of Pentacles, and I asked you to have a look at that card, which shows the person standing there and the coins all dropping out of his hands to the two people beside him that are kneeled. So to me, they look like beggars that are living in poverty, and the king has come, or the prince has come with the abundance and affluence to give. So when you looked at that card, who did you see yourself as? Did you see yourself as the giver? Did you see yourself as the receiver? Do you see yourself as a beggar? Do you see yourself as a person in control? Do you see yourself as a person with personal power to authentically choose how they are living because they believe they are worthy of abundance in all forms? Like for me, do you know what I saw psychically when I was doing this? I saw a flow chart. I saw a flow chart going from the beggars to the giver, and going round and round in a circle where you are changing directions, you're changing positions over and over again. We then pulled the collective card for the week, which was the opposites card. If you're giving too much, you may want to retreat and enable yourself to receive. And if you have the space to give, you want to consider giving in the form of time, resources, financial help, words of affirmation, touch, creativity, and whatever you are happy to give from the heart. Now, in the week that we've just had with the new moon, which felt like it was a releasing and a really deep healing one to find our personal power, you're being asked to be who you say you are. So if we go back to that Six of Pentacles card, where are you on the flow chart? If you could see the arrows going around from the giver to the beggar to the next person and around, because sometimes we do victimize ourselves. So where do you see yourself at the moment? Are you being who you say you are to make up the whole part of the opposites card? It's time to act on and perhaps do the opposite of what you're wanting, so it is reflected back at you. You always give what you want to receive and receive what you want to give. The opposites is also about walking your talk. Are you in alignment with who you say and who you think you are, or are you doing the opposite of what you say that you are? I see this a lot with clients. They'll want something, but their inner dialogue, their soul conversation is the complete opposite. Or they're walking around in their hearts feeling single, but actually they are physically single, but energetically they're not allowing themselves to receive. So the opposites card came up in order for us to create balance, a balance for the energy of the new moon to feel stable, to feel secure, to feel like we're moving to that space on the Six of Pentacles card as the person that has personal power to be able to give, but know that sometimes we do go to the other two people featured on that card, where we sometimes can feel like we are on the receiving end, and that is okay too. It's how we perceive that. I remember once having this friendship with this woman, a really nice person, and she couldn't handle how much I would give her. And it was coming from my heart, like I'd make food and I'd take it. And she messaged me one day, she said, "Can you please stop?" And it really hurt me. And I was thinking, why? And she said, "You give me too much." And she said, "I don't deserve that." And I said to her, "You deserve everything." Some people can't be on that giving end as much as they would like to be. Therefore, they don't allow them to receive. And this person has been eternally single because this person is someone that looks after everybody but cannot handle being looked after by somebody else. They feel like they're not worthy and they don't deserve it. So how did the opposites card play out for you last week? And how are you walking your talk? So for me, if I look back at my week, I walked my talk by going and seeing friends that are important to me. I walked my talk by making sure I did my meditation every day and a couple of times of exercise, even though I wasn't feeling very well. I walked my talk by having my own healing session with a friend of mine that's helping me clear certain things from me to make sure that I'm in top form for you. You know, I did those things to make sure that I'm always being who I say that I am. If you are who you say you are, you will act in accordance to being rooted to yourself before connecting with other people or experiences to validate you. You will accept and know that you have what you... I'm going to say that again. If you are who you say you are, you will act in accordance to being rooted to yourself before connecting with other people or experiences to validate you. You will accept and know that you and what you have are enough. Got that out. I'd been experiencing a lot of my shadow sides over the last week. The parts of me that needed healing and grounding in who I am, and being and feeling safe in my physical body here on earth. And the physical body has been in various kind of ailments, which is all starting to clear now, but had to go through it. And this whole extended meaning of the Monday mantra isn't about wanting more for us, isn't about not wanting more for ourselves. It's about full acceptance. It's about, I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, and that's okay, because if we are who we say we are, we're all different things at different times. It makes up a whole, and we're not all one way, and that is okay. If you ever perceive people being too perfect, or you know, people who say they've got everything going on. You know, one things I can't stand when I see on social media are some of the coaches and things like, oh, you can make 6 figures a year and look at my life and look at my relationship and look at where I'm living. That to me is red flags, because why do you need that external validation? People should just know by you being real that they're going to receive something from you if they are to book your service or your course or whatever, without you having to show off about it. And to put your personal things on a platform to be used as an example. I highly guide you to not ever use your personal important things in your life as an example for, look what I have, because you are asking for trouble at that point, because none of us are perfect. Things happen that not everything can be predicted. Just be normal about it and humble about it and not show off about things. We can be happy about things and be excited and get support, but using things as an example is actually it's showing you who someone is without them even realizing that that's what they're doing, if you know what I mean. And then, giving ourselves permission to be worthy and to feel secure. It's so important because we're all kind of walking around trying to figure things out, but we need to feel that safety and security in ourselves. Now remember, I'm always here for you. I'm only one person, so joining a waitlist is always the best thing to do, because when it's your time, you will be called and it will be the right time. You might not be thinking that because you're expecting to see me soon and talk to me about what you want to talk to me about, but that's not how I work. Spirit dictates what we talk about, and that's just how it operates. And because I've got lots of extraterrestrial energy around me too, it's like everything's beginning to change for me and how I work with my clients through these new frequencies. Remember, it's only $60 a year for this app. It is absolutely a very nominal fee for the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that I throw into this to create this platform for you. Everything from full-time developers to paying all the musicians that we license tracks off, to the designers who design the app, to all of everything has a big cost towards it. So, I got messages from people saying, Gaia, please put the price up on your app because it's just so much value. It is, but I'm also doing this from my heart. Like, I really want to make this available to everybody. So therefore, those of you who are wanting more specific frequencies for you, this is why the personalized meditations are great, because it is for you. And they're created with me channeling frequencies for you, and also the messages for you that you need. And if you need a mini reading, that's for brief guidance if you're needing some form of support. But if you're needing any help at all or any questions, Kieran is the person to ask at soul33@gmail.com. Don't suffer in silence if you're having any app issues. Please contact her, because she will be able to guide you and help you and put you on a wait list where that is necessary. Okay, soul33@gmail.com. Right, this week's Monday mantra. Are you ready for this one? So remember, those of you who are listening every week very diligently, you know that everything is a chapter, one chapter to the next, like a book. I do not deprive myself or others in order to accumulate. I do not deprive myself or others in order to accumulate. So let's break that down. I do not deprive. Okay, so we all know what it means to deprive. But we also don't deprive in order to accumulate. And that almost is like a juxtaposition, because usually to accumulate, we don't deprive, we add on. But listen to the rest of the Monday mantra before you apply this throughout the week. Have you been saving something for later? Have you been waiting for the right time? Have you been depriving yourself of something you want or need? Maybe you have used deprivation as a tool to punish yourself or others. Honestly, I have. I've done that to myself, and I have done that to others in my lifetime. I'm just being honest. Depriving, whether it's silent treatment or whether it's, I feel like I've been giving too much and I'm not going to give you my time right now. What has it been for you? Spirit has clearly said for this week, we need to not withdraw loving intentions or gestures to deprive ourselves or others of love. But you may have found, or may be finding as you go through the week, that deprivation comes in forms of hoarding for some people, because you've got that energy inside you of like, if I don't hold on and accumulate, I'm going to go without. Or extras of things. I'm a bit like that with the extras of things. I'm someone that likes to have the next thing there when I run out, whether it's toilet paper, whether it's toothpaste, whether it's whatever. And I sometimes have to ask myself, do I really need that? Because there's already one at home. Accumulation because there's a fear or concern about I'm going to be deprived or I am depriving myself, wanting to live in that abundance. So look at where that comes from for you and how you're going to apply this Monday mantra. Spirit specifically used these words. Using common sense will be important, and also to know that there is no need to punish. So no need to punish ourselves or punish anyone else as karma balances out over time. So when you're going through this week, if you're depriving yourself of something, just say food, for example, okay? If you're depriving yourself of food, why are you doing that? And are you punishing yourself because you ate too much pizza the night before? This is just a very basic level of comparison, but I'm just asking you to go to those thoughts this week. I mean, I can even imagine parents of, they may not be thinking this way, of depriving a child of, saying, having a chocolate before dinner, but maybe this week we want to have the chocolate before dinner. It's not to deprive because you're accumulating something. It's not accumulating of that particular thing. It's the accumulation of saving it for later, which is what I mentioned last week. We want to save a bit for later, but this week we're kind of acting on that, going, actually, there's enough there. I don't need to deprive myself this week. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be looking forward to going through this week, seeing how this plays out. Someone else getting what you want is not going to take away from you getting what you want. Someone getting what they want is not going to take away from you getting what you want. There is enough for everyone. Someone else is getting rich and you want to get rich, that's not taking away from a pool of accumulated wealth that's going to take away from you. Someone else getting the relationship or the marriage they want, that's not going to stop you from getting yours. And that's where we have to move out of the way in terms of not feeling like, oh, I'm deprived. We're not. Lovingly repaying debts this week. This is not just about financial debts. Could be for you, but it's also about where you felt hard done by, or you may have so many blessings in your life that you want to give back or pay it forward. Okay, so lovingly repaying debts. I'm going to find that one interesting as I go through the week too. But I found it quite fascinating when Spirit gave me those words. Okay. They're telling me now to jump to the cards there's more to tell you about the Monday mantra. The first card I saw in my third eye was the sun, as in the sun, and it was reversed. And this is also about feeling let down, and again around the inner child. Now I want to read this to you to see whether any of you resonate with this. The little girl in me wants to feel safe, to know that you have my back and you will protect me. The little girl in me wants to feel warm and know that there was never another choice. It was always me you wanted. While I may have chosen you, you chose me too. The little girl in me wants to be reminded that you will defend me from enemies and fulfill my needs, even when it feels like you chose another priority over me. While you can't protect me from all the hurts, I would like to know that you are there to listen and try to understand, even if listening means hearing what I'm not saying. That came out the other night as a channeled message. And then I realized when they showed me the Sun Tarot reversed, it is for this week's Monday mantra, your inner child. And this is where I've said, lovingly repaying debts if we felt hard done by or disappointed. There's something in that being healed this week where we're not deprived of anything. And so whether you're a little boy or a little girl, use those words and try and figure out where that sits with you in your body and what that means for you. It is a time of projects and collaboration. And if you're working on something and you can see somebody else benefiting from the growth, invite them in. So someone with skills to help you, invite them in. Use your ego to serve for the better. It is a powerful week to help people, even when you've been disappointed or you've been underestimated, even hurt. And now, when I said even hurt here, I was thinking about all the people who will be thinking like, why would I want to lovingly repay a debt to someone who's hurt me? I'm not talking about hurt where someone's really destroyed something with you and hurt you, but we all get hurt. We all get hurt by people that we love because we had expectations that weren't met. That's what I'm talking about. You can still show that person or whoever what love really is. I was listening to a podcast, and the guy on the podcast was saying how in Vegas, there are homeless people living in tunnels. And there was a guy that was living in the tunnel that was, I think, stabbed and attacked like really badly by one of the people, another person living in the tunnel. And when this man who got attacked got better, like after a severe attack, that man still took food to the attacker. And I'm talking about the humanity aspect of things, where he's not going to sit with the attacker and say, let's be friends. And I'm not saying that some people do. You read these amazing stories of people who forgive the murderers of their children. But he still just gave because that's what love is. And that's what I'm talking about this week. What you give in the world ends up coming back somehow. A reflection of themselves, yourself, will be seen in you. So a reflection of whoever you're interacting with will be seen in you. And if you can restore faith, have the power to restore faith in yourself or someone else at the same time, that is a true gift. That is a true gift. Allow some rest this week. I've got rest time allocated. Animal spirits are coming in, so look out for animal interactions. If you've got pets, love your pets, which I'm sure all of the pet owners who listen to this do, and let love transform this week. The next card that they're asking me to bring in now, and this is why, it's the Four of Swords, which is about recuperation. And so this is why that rest, that recuperation, letting love transform, transforming past pain, serve it with love, transforming present power, that personal power that we've been talking about, serve it with love. Focusing on your future desire, serve that future desire with actions of love towards what you're wanting. And if you're feeling like you're emotionally extending yourself, love yourself and don't deprive yourself the way you want to receive from the other. Give it to yourself. Like that inner child message that I got, apply it to you. The Sun Tarot, the little child on either a horse or a unicorn, depending on who's drawn the tarot deck. It's reversed this week, where we're being asked to nourish that inner child aspect by not depriving. Like when we think of deprivation, we look at countries where children are begging, and it's again a transition, an extended meaning of last week's card. We are in this position to serve ourselves and serve others and not be in that place of deprivation or feeling like we just need to accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. Use some of that now. Use what you've got now. This is what this week is about. You and me, we have the power to change our lives and the lives of others around us. We're being asked to turn the light on in life so we can find and show others out of the darkness. Okay, we're going to take a moment now, and if you can and you're not driving, just close your eyes for me. There is no need to deprive yourself of anything. You live in excess, you live in abundance, and when you do that and allow that to be received, you're able to give more to yourself, and you'll be able to give more to other people. And going to your inner child now, the little boy or little girl inside of you, needing to feel like you are safe and secure. The frequency of that is coming in now. And that part of you that, like a child, when they need to take a nap, they do. When they want to eat, they do. Nothing is deprived. Your Monday mantra this week is, I do not deprive myself or others in order to accumulate. I do not deprive myself or others in order to accumulate. Remember, if you need me, if you need help, app renewal, app memberships, mini readings, personalized meditations, Kieran is the person to email at soul33@gmail.com. And don't forget to share. Also, in the group chat, if you are wanting specific frequencies in the frequency channel, they do take me a while to do, as all of it. Everything is hard work. None of it's easy. But if you give me certain frequencies that you want, I will put them on my to-do list to create for you for that channel. No depriving ourselves this week. We are here to use what we've got and to eat the chocolate when we want to eat it and to spend realistically with what we have. We're not spending what we don't have. We're using what we've got to not deprive